こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材は、サッカー日本代表に関する動画です。ワールドカップが開幕し、すでに第一節がすべて終了したところですが、日本はオランダと対戦し、2対2の引き分けに終わりました。勝利に近い引き分けと感じているファンが多いと思いますが、本当に興奮する結末でした。今回は、海外ファンの反応集にしていますが、この死闘とも言えるような、互角の戦いを、海外ニキたちはどのように見ていたのか、チェックしてみましょう。
All right, let's talk about this. Netherlands, Japan. Obviously, this was the headline game yesterday. It was. Am I surprised with the result? Is it an upset? No, this to me is not a surprising result one bit, right? I've been telling people Japan and South Korea, people got to watch these teams. And the reason that Japan and South Korea are so good, they are so cohesive and technically sound. They really understand how to play as a unit. And how to play together. And they decided to give Netherlands a little bit more of the ball yesterday. VVD got a nice corner goal. That was a nice goal. Nakamura had a really, really nice finish about 7 minutes later. Can we talk about Somerville, by the way, guys? I feel like, I don't know what he's doing over a season because I don't watch every single Premier League game. But whenever I've been turning on the TV to watch this guy, he's been always like really electric. Yeah, his value looks like it's going up. I really like him. So I don't know anybody. We got West Ham fans or Dutch fans. I really do like Somerville. I think he's a very good player. How do I perceive this game? Malin also had a really good chance early on. I felt like both keepers, specifically Suzuki. Without Suzuki, he's really legit. What do I feel about both of these teams? Did I learn anything new? No, not really, guys. I didn't really learn anything new. I mean, we know the Netherlands haven't lost a game in 90 minutes since 2006 at a World Cup. That's ridiculous, right? Japan is going to be the toughest team in their group, and Kamada ends up scoring a header. I think was it over VVD? I don't know. He ends up scoring a header, and they get a draw. So Sweden, look, this group is going to have some twists. We're going to talk about Sweden in a minute, but this group is going to have some things that people don't expect happening. But what do I see with both of these teams? Yeah, I see these are both teams that are they going to contend for a World Cup based on what I watched yesterday? I don't know. They could make a run. The one thing I will say is I appreciate both countries because the Dutch and the Japanese, the energy they brought to America, like just in my country, bro. I was watching on the TV, dude, the hype was crazy at this game. The hype was crazy. Now, was it the most entertaining game ever? No, but a lot of excitement, man. A lot of excitement at Dallas, in Dallas, Texas. I don't know how this works because the stadium is 108,000 and only 70,000 were there, so I don't really know if that was like a ticket sales thing, or I don't really know. I mean, I wish it was more. It'd be crazy if they had 108,000 people there. So, yeah, what a game, though. What a game. 2-2 is probably fair. Is it the end of the world for both teams? No, but Sweden have done such a good job last night with their result.
To say that. The Dutch versus Japan, what an unbelievable game that was. Heart and belief from Japan in the final moments. Some quality from the Dutch, where you have to say I think they were the better side. They'll be frustrated not to get 3 points because when you look at the group, the Dutch might be struggling if they don't beat Sweden as well in the next game. Ryan Gravenberch looked like a young Ruud Huller. He looked absolutely scary. The quality in that midfield is comparable to anyone in the World Cup. You think about the technical quality of De Jong, the way Reinders can whip things in. He always plays well for the Dutch as well. And Gravenberch, you have to say, he's a Rolls-Royce, borderline world-class midfielder. I never sold my Ryan Gravenberch stocks, guys. A lot of people did in the football community. I never did. The ball in for Virgil van Dijk is absolutely scintillating. Virgil van Dijk with a brilliant header. I think he's had an underrated season. Not his best by his standards. His best goal-scoring season. A big goal at the World Cup now for the Dutch. I know it struggled for Kanate. Robertson passes prime. Alisson always injured. Trent leaves Liverpool. Arne Slot struggles. The midfield ahead of him, McAllister, looks like he's completely shot in terms of his energy. So where's the protection for Van Dijk? I think he's had a decent season for Liverpool, and now it's even better he scores against the Japanese. But Nakamura, who was threatening all game with a brilliant strike as well, scores past Verbruggen, who should be doing a little bit better. I thought Verbruggen actually struggled in the game. Didn't look brilliant, but the back line have to be protected him far better than they did for the equalising goal for Japan. Somerville makes it 2-1. He's had a poor season, relatively speaking, because he's just got relegated with West Ham United. But what a big moment for him. He'll put himself in the shop window. He won't be playing the Championship next season, I doubt. And he has had a couple of strange years for West Ham where he doesn't play much, doesn't score many goals, and he did come alive more this season. I think the Dutch are going to go further than Japan in this tournament. They've got quality off the bench. They can control a game far better than a host of other big countries in this tournament. De Jong, Reinders and Gravenberch will get a lot of joy in this tournament, controlling the ball. And it is what we're saying. Like, a lot of memes on Instagram are putting Ruud Gullit's hair on Ryan Gravenberch, but it's a bit like that Rijkaard, Ruud Gullit kind of midfield. It's got a bit of the Seedorf about it. The Dutch produce midfielders upon midfielders of the highest quality, and I think the Dutch, if they can sort out their defensive side of the game, there's no way that the Japanese should be scoring from that set piece. Kamada shouldn't be getting anywhere near that ball. I don't know where Van Hecke is. I don't know where Van Dijk is. They've got a tall back line. Dumfries a massive fullback. Van der Ven's a powerful centre-back playing at left-back. Verbruggen's a tall keeper. They shouldn't be getting out-jumped by the Japanese, with all due respect. So the Dutch will have to go back to the drawing board in terms of how they defend. But going forward with that midfield, it's a jewel in the crown. I think the Dutch will be a little bit frustrated they didn't beat Japan, because Sweden, if they lose to Sweden, the Dutch, they're in a world of pain. I think Japan will beat Tunisia, and that's a lot of pressure on Ronald Koeman. Of course, they'll be looking to beat Tunisia in the final game. But, who knows? The Dutch needed to win this game, arguably. Japan are no mugs. We have to talk about
that group, though. Let's move on to the other group that played today, and that is the Dutch, who came up against Japan today. And unfortunately for them, they're going to have to be content with a 2-2 draw. Now, this was a really interesting game too. Japan are missing so many of their marquee names, whether it's Minamino, Mitoma, Wataru Endo, all three of them unavailable for this tournament. And going into this game, lining up in a back five. They were extremely compact today. They were so well organized. They made life so difficult for the Dutch and really stifled them in that first half, right? The Dutch had a lot of the ball, but really struggled to carve them open in open play. And I don't really blame them. The block that Japan played with was crazy today. I haven't really seen Japan play like that too many times. I find them to be a really expansive team, a team that can pop you off the park, a team that excel in terms of technical ability, in terms of tactical versatility. But the defensive showing they showed in that first half was really impressive. And ultimately, it was only a really strong header from Virgil van Dijk that opened the scoring and made things all of a sudden a bit more open, because all of a sudden Japan have to now play. It was a great header from Van Dijk, and he's really started to add a lot of goals to his game this year. He's always been a threat off set pieces, but this year it feels like anytime the ball is in his vicinity, Virgil van Dijk is burying that, and he's now brought it to the international stage at the World Cup. But not to worry, because Japan came right back at them shortly after, a deflected shot from them, making it 1-1, before Crescencio Somerville would cut in on his left and grab a huge goal to make it 2-1 to the Dutch. And from there, I fully expected the Dutch to kind of just, keep level-headed and last till the end. Get away with a 2-1 win, job done. Unfortunately, Ronald Koeman had different ideas. Today, I thought the midfield of De Jong and Gravenberch were so good. I think De Jong in general, right? He's obviously a great player. For Barcelona, one of the best midfielders in the world. I feel like he takes it up another level at international. I don't know what it is, but I think for the Dutch, he has consistently been, over the last few tournaments, their most impressive player for me. Gakpo, I would throw there too. I think Gakpo for the Dutch takes it to another level. But Gravenberch today, that looked like the Gravenberch of the title-winning Liverpool season. He ran that game, which made it so bizarre to me why Ronald Koeman took him off after 81 minutes. And not for a midfielder, not for an attacker. Nathan Ake. No disrespect to Nathan Ake, top player. But already the Dutch in possession, when everyone was on the pitch, already had Frankie de Jong dropping into the back to form almost a back five in possession. To then take off Ryan Gravenberch, to add another defender to it, all the meanwhile taking off your attackers, taking off Somerville, taking off Gakpo. It felt like such a negative reaction to the game from Ronald Koeman. And this isn't the first time he's done this. I do feel like in big coaching moments, right, where your team honestly can win or draw a game based on your next substitution, I often find that Ronald Koeman always tends to make the most backwards, negative, pessimistic decision. And yeah, if they hold on to the game, you could say, oh, well, he really shorted up. But I just feel anytime a manager, when they only have a 1-goal lead, starts throwing on defenders and taking off attackers, you start to secede possession a little bit, you drop deeper, you concede more chances, and you just allow the other side to just build themselves into the game and start knocking on the door until eventually the door falls down. And Nathan Ake himself conceded the corner, and just like that, Japan off the set piece. You could argue maybe Verbruggen should do a little better. I think the deflection leaves him no chance, just like the first. And it ended up Japan 2, Netherlands 2. Now, I have to say, I think it's a fair result. I do. Now, the Dutch can maybe feel a little disappointed that they didn't hold on to this game, but I thought Japan showed enough to get a draw. Now, I think the interesting thing about this game is similar to the Brazil-Morocco match, where some people will look at Japan drawing the Netherlands and say, well, that's a shock. Wow, Netherlands should be really disappointed here. And when you look at the status of these teams, that might make sense. But I think it's really telling, right, that Japan are able to go toe-to-toe with the Netherlands now, and Morocco are able to go toe-to-toe with Brazil. And I think what it really exemplifies is the ever-closing gap between, first and foremost, the traditional, big international sides, right? The Brazils, the Frances, the Germanys, the Italys, the Spains, the sides that you typically think of when you think of teams that dominate tournaments. The gap between them and maybe those sides in the second tier of national teams is only getting smaller and smaller and smaller with every passing tournament. And I think Morocco being able to absolutely run a midfield against Brazil and no one being surprised about that. And today, Japan going band for band with the Dutch just showcases that, yeah, we look at these sides every tournament as, oh, they're going to win the tournament or they're going to go far. But ultimately, right, there's just not that much in it anymore. Gone are really the days where the likes of Brazil play anyone outside of the traditional big sides and just steamroll them. Gone are the days where the Netherlands will just pass teams off the park. And yeah, you could definitely argue that the Dutch's talent pool has dwindled. Brazil's talent pool has definitely dwindled. I would fully agree with you on that, right? We're not seeing Van Persie, Schneider, and Robben anymore. Just like we're not seeing Kaká, R9, and Ronaldinho anymore. But at the same time, you look at the talent pool that a country like Morocco can now call upon. You look at how tactically disciplined a side like Japan are now. And honestly, it is difficult to win a World Cup now. Because any side you face are sure to give you a difficult 90 minutes. So congratulations to Japan. Netherlands, they got to get back to the drawing board. I think that's a great result for Japan because on paper, that's probably their toughest assignment.
次は解説です。今回はネイティブらしい表現もいくつかありますので、本日の解説をチェックしてみましょ
う。The ball in for Virgil van Dijk is absolutely scintillating.
シンティレイティンは、きらめくように素晴らしいという意味の上級語彙です。スポーツ解説では、特に印象的なプレーやパフォーマンスを称賛するときに使われます。グッドやエクセラントよりも強い称賛を含み、見ている人を興奮させるようなプレーを表します。新聞やサッカー記事では比較的よく登場しますが、日常会話ではそれほど頻繁ではありません。実況や解説を理解したい人には覚えておきたい単語です。
The ball in for Virgil van Dijk is absolutely scintillating. The ball in for Virgil van Dijk is absolutely scintillating. She can control a game far better than a host of other big countries.
アホストフは、たくさんの、多数のという意味のフォーマルな表現です。メニーやロッツオフの少し上品な言い換えとして使われます。スポーツ記事やニュースでは非常によく登場し、多くの選手、多くの選択肢、多くの問題などを表すときに使われます。英字新聞やビジネス英語でも品質なので覚えておく価値があります。メニーよりも少し知的で洗練された響きを持つ表現です。
She can control a game far better than a host of other big countries. She can control a game far better than a host of other big countries.
And today, Japan going band for band with the Dutch.
バンドフォーバンドは比較的新しいアメリカ英語のスラングです。もともとバンドは1000ドルの札束を意味し、バンドフォーバンドはどちらの方がお金を持っているかを競うという意味で使われていました。そこから意味が広がり、現在では互角に渡り合う、同じレベルで勝負するという意味でも使われます。若者言葉や SNS、スポーツ系 YouTube などで見かける表現です。正式な英語というよりはかなり口語的な表現ですが、最近ではスポーツの文脈でも使われるようになっています。
And today, Japan going band for band with the Dutch. And today, Japan going band for band with the Dutch. Gone are really the days where...
Gone are the days は、そんな時代は終わったという意味の定番表現です。通常の語順ではなく統治が使われているため、印象的で少し文学的な響きがあります。スポーツ、ビジネス、社会問題など幅広いテーマで使われます。 今回の動画では、ブラジルやオランダが格下相手を簡単に圧倒できた時代は終わったという意味で使われました。ニュース記事や評論でよく登場する表現です。
Gone are really the days where Brazil's talent pool has definitely dwindled.
ドゥインドルは、徐々に減少する、先細りになるという意味です。急激な減少ではなく、時間をかけて少しずつ減るニュアンスがあります。今回の動画ではオランダやブラジルのタレント層について語る場面で使われていました。人口、資源、売上、人材など様々な対象に使えます。ニュースやビジネス記事でも比較的よく登場する単語です。
Brazil's talent pool has definitely dwindled. Netherlands, they gotta get back to the drawing board.
Go back to the drawing board は、計画を最初から見直すという意味の定番イディオムです。The drawing board は、設計図のことであり、単なる修正ではなく、根本的な見直しが必要な場合に使われます。ビジネスでもスポーツでも非常によく使われる便利な表現です。英語学習者が覚えておきたい重要イディオムの一つです。
Netherlands, they gotta get back to the drawing board.
いかがでしたか？日本は固い守備ブロックと高い組織力でオランダを苦しめ、終盤に追いついて価値ある引き分けを手にしたと評価されています。一方でオランダはグラベンバークやデヨングを中心に中盤の質の高さを見せたものの、クーマン監督の消極的な交代策が追いつかれる原因になったという意見もありました。また、日本やモロッコが強豪国と互角に戦えるようになったことから、世界のフットボールにおける伝統的強豪国との実力差が年々縮まっているとも強調していました。この大会では、アジアの国が現時点では健闘していたり、DR コンゴやカーボベルでもポット1相手に勝ち点を奪い、ノルウェーやスウェーデンという前線のビッグプレイヤーが爆発し、大勝を収めるなど、この大会が何か荒れるような気さえ感じてきています。まだまだこれから第2節ですが、十分に楽しみたいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。